I'll play it from here.
And please send the PM the link to go live as well.
He has the link. He has the link. He has the link to
Right.
live. It's already there in the media house.
Oh, okay.
Are we live? 247? All right, thank you. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Remove the write-up on the screen. Remove the write-up on the screen, as you go from the studio. So let this fly for like some seconds before we play the anthem, so that those watching will see what is on the screen.
Land of the rising sun, willow and cherry, beloved home, land of our brave heroes. We must defend our lives, or we shall perish. We shall protect our hearts from all.
This meeting is being recorded.
But if the price is death for all we hold dear, then let us die without a shred of fear. Hail to Biafra, consecrated nation. O fatherland, this be our solemn pledge. Defending thee shall be our dedication. Spilling our blood will count our privilege. The waving standard which emboldens the free shall always be our flag of liberty. We shall emerge triumphant from this ordeal, and through the crucible unscathed we'll pass. When we are poised, the wounds of battle to heal, we shall remember those
A minute silence to the fallen heroes of Biafra, which today we observe the remembrance of their existence, and not just to those that fell, and those that are standing tall to fight for us to see Biafra. And the time starts now. May the souls of the departed heroes of Biafra rest in peace, while their spirits continue to embolden us as we fight on to keep the flag flying and to restore that very Biafra which they have died fighting, and the last words in their mouth is, "Get me Biafra." You say, you say, you say the BDM anthem, please. Please, everyone should remain standing while the BDM anthem is played. And you know how well to salute your name. Thank you, Professor. Over to you, please.
All right. Thank you, the Minister of Information. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear
Yes, we
you
can hear
loud
you.
and clear. And Professor, please,
Yeah.
in your program, I know this was not communicated before now. There may be the Biafran genocide victims, those that may have suffered the kwashoko and some other vices. So
Okay.
they may be available to give some of their experiences and things that they saw, so that Biafrans will also understand what actually happened. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we will have them go, if they are here, we will have them go after our veteran speech. All right? After
Thank
Dr.
you.
Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon, ladies and
Sorry
gentlemen.
to Professor Choma, there are people waiting, they said,
They are waiting where?
in the waiting room. Okay,
Oh,
No, we're taking care of that. We're taking care of
okay,
that.
thank you.
okay, thank you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is day 2 of the BRGIE event to commemorate our Heroes and Heroines Day. We all watched our Prime Minister deliver a very powerful tribute to all Biafra heroes and heroines, to those that paid the ultimate price for freedom, to those that were wounded. He also paid tribute to all heroes and heroines that are currently serving in different capacities in the liberation of our nation, Biafra. We know that during the genocidal war, some of us may not have seen it, but we heard the stories, we've seen the images. We lost precious men, women, and children. even though Nigeria was not beating us in the war, but they resorted to using hunger and disease as a weapon of war. My mind goes to all those who fought and died, the children who were starved to death, our mothers with babies at hand who had nothing in them, but they still had to breastfeed. Just imagine, what would these children be taking from a woman who has nothing else to give? In all these, Nigeria continued to kill our people, supported by Britain and the likes of Britain. Post-war, Nigeria continues to kill Biafrans until we said no. We started fighting back. Many Biafran heroes, from our Colonel Odumegwu Ojukwu, fought at different stages, to our current supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who Nigeria kidnapped, renditioned him, and they thought, yes, now Biafra is ended. They partied, they cajoled us with the help of the saboteurs within. Unknown to them that there is a man called Simon Ekpa somewhere. He is now the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile. Our Prime Minister raised heroes and heroines who today we know fear no man. They fear no situation and they fear no enemy. Through the activities of the Prime Minister and the government that he leads, both in abroad and in the homeland, Biafrans, we have gotten our integrity back. Biafrans are bold to speak. The lawyers that are genuine are bold to speak. Men and women are bold to speak. Children are bold to speak. We can see over 30 million Biafrans in the homeland casted their votes for referendum to exit Biafra, Nigeria. We say thank you to all these Biafrans. We honor you all. We will never forget what we went through. So, in honor of our dead and our living, we have organized a couple of activities that we will start right now. And we will start by calling Honorable Obi, a member of the Biafra Security Administration Database and ID Card Committee, to give us a short presentation before we then call upon all the dignitaries that would talk to us today. Honorable Obi, welcome, and you take the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Choma. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Biafrans. Good evening, PM. Good evening, cabinet members. Good evening, my team. Good evening, friends of Biafrans all over the world. I thank you for joining us today again in this our 3-day tribute to our heroes and heroines. I am going to take you along to our memory lane. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Thank you. Today, we are here to remember our brothers, fathers, sisters who lost their life fighting for ours. We are here to honor them today. And in honoring them, we know what we have to do that. And that is, number one, we keep fighting and not stopping. Number two, we vote. Because by voting, you are separating yourself from Nigeria. By voting, we are separating the weed from the chaffs, or the chaffs from the wheat, either way. So today, with this presentation, this intends to take you back for those that might have forgotten, for those who doesn't know, for those who haven't heard this before or seen it before. This is our story. Sorry, I have to bring this one down. Biafrans must know that when government persecution becomes law, citizens' resistance becomes a duty. Don't forget that. This is our Ikemba, Odumegwu on the left. Following the widespread massacre of Biafrans by Nigerian government in the years leading up to 1967, and the resultant declaration of Biafran independence, Lieutenant Colonel Odumegwu left takes the oath of office as the Biafran head of state on June 10th, 1967. This is our hero, inspecting Biafran troops on June 11th, 1968. These men and women, they died for us. They died for you and me. This is another hero, General Philip Effiong, the man who stood right next to Ojukwu, the man who served without sabotaging, the man who served with all the love they have in them, just for you and I. This is a gallant Biafra, so they're commanding his squad in 1969. They died so you may have a better life than they did. Yes, they died so you will no longer be a stranger in our ancestral land. Look at them. These boys, they were not up to 15 years old, but they fought. That is how brave we are. Biafrans are not cowards. They are brave men and women. This is Colonel Utuk, a gallant Biafran soldier, and his squad inspecting unexploded shell in June 1968. When you see all these brave men and women, what is going on in your mind? What are you doing to save the day? What are you doing to help Biafrans? What are you doing to save your nation? Ask yourself this question. If you're not doing anything, then you should start today doing something. Look at it. It didn't start today. This started a long time ago. This is a Biafran soldier rescuing an elderly woman after her home was bombed by Nigerian in June 1968. It didn't start today. They started a long time ago. But the question is, what are you doing to stop it? What are you doing to stop it? Are you just sitting on the fence, talking? It's not enough. Are you just sitting there with the excuse that someone betrayed and therefore you don't know who to trust and then you stayed back? That is not an excuse. These men and women, they died so you can retain who we are, Biafrans. They died for the desire to protect their families, friends, fellow citizens from the genocidal Nigerian government. These are Biafran soldiers helping wounded ones in June 1968. This brings me to a plea for PM, maybe to start Biafra paramedic help from Biafra land, a team that will be seeing for the injured ones in Biafra land. The country called Nigeria has done so many damages to us. When we do this once, this time, then we cannot start to heal together. But we have to do this together. On July 16th, 1968, this picture shows a market in Onitsha in former Anambra State, completely destroyed by the Nigerian government. It didn't start today. On Wednesday, 24 September 2022, a Kototo market in former Imo State was completely razed by agents of the Nigerian government. All this didn't start today. And you know what? It didn't end there. All the people that died, they died for a greater cause. They died so you may have freedom, justice, and human rights. Here, up to present, the destruction of Biafra-owned properties, markets, and businesses continues. What are you doing about it? Ask yourself this question. What are you doing about it? Are you contributing? Are you helping for the cause? Or are you just watching? Watching is not enough. Everybody that lost their properties and those that lost their lives, you know, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Why would you be in a country when your tomorrow is not guaranteed as a human being? Where your business is not guaranteed tomorrow. You just live by day. So, look at it. Biafran seeking refuge in July 1968 to escape the war. Today, we say no. We say no. You know, Kwama, you and I, all of us here, probably know the story of Okwama community. Not just that, they were chased away from their homes, their community, but many of them ended up dead in the bush where they are seeking refuge. This is just recent. And you look at the left picture, just the same picture playing again. All these people, they died. So their commitment to these ideals can drive you and I to fight and die for what we believe is right. Look at it. Look at them. These are Biafrans. These are Biafran kids. I promise. Oh God, I am gonna try to keep it dry. These are Biafran kids. They died to protect our way of life, preserving the values and principles that define our nation. That is what they died for. They could have been engineers. They could have been lawyers. They could have been someone that brings something useful to the society. But you know what? No, Nigeria said, no, you can't. You are a Biafrans, you have what we want, and therefore we're going to kill all of you to take that you have. Dear Biafrans, it's never gonna happen. Tell them it's never gonna happen. We will never forget. We will never forget. These kids, thousands, millions of kids, they died to defend our freedoms, standing against oppression and tyranny, to safeguard our rights and liberty. That is all they died for you and me. For you and me. So when you are sitting in your comfy home, think about these kids. When you get home, think about them. When you're eating your three square meal, think about them. Wherever you are doing well and you're not doing anything. Think about these children. Think about them. They paid heavy sacrifice just for you and I to be here today. And we are here today. The least we can do for them is to restore Biafra. That is the least we can do for them. They died so we can have a safer world, confronting dangers and threats that could harm innocent Biafrans. Yes. They died to uphold justice, fighting against injustice and equality to create a fairer society. That is what they died for. And they're still dying till today. But this generation, we are gonna put a stop to it. All I am asking you, Biafrans, all over the world that are listening right now, what are you doing to save your nation? What are you doing to be a free man? If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your kids, do it for your family, do it for the future generation, because the Fulanis, they ain't gonna stop until we stop them. Look at them. Just take a look. These are kids. These are Biafrans. These are Biafrans. When you see this picture, what are you thinking? If nothing will make you honor our people, our dead, yes, they are our loved ones as well. The only way they are not asking you for anything. The only way you can show your gratitude for the sacrifices they made is by voting. Cast your vote. Cast your vote. All the soldiers during the Biafran War, the sacrifices they made is just to protect their loved ones, ensuring the safety and well-being of their families and communities. They died to honor their duty and commitment, fulfilling their responsibilities with the utmost dedication, even at the cost of their lives. Look at it. This is in Asaba. Biafrans in Asaba thought the war had ended, and we are told so as well. But the genocidal Nigerian government troops assembled them, opened fire on them, killing thousands of people. What do you call that? A genocide. Because they are bloodthirsty parasites. They love blood. Even when the war has ended, they still kill them. So, the genocide has not stopped. Nigerian government is continuing to slaughter Biafrans using the military, police, and the Fulani headsmen. Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, was kidnapped and abused in Kenya, rendition to Nigeria, where he is detained in solitary confinement for about 3 years now. The only thing you need to do right now is vote. You know, the Fulanis, they are not used to law. They don't like laws. They don't obey laws. So when we are voting, they are laughing. But he who laughs last, laughs the best. Thousands of Biafra men and women are also incarcerated by the Nigerian government. Think about our brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers that were abducted by Nigerian military. No one knows where they are. They were all locked up, spread in different cells all over Nigeria. Your vote is their only hope. Your vote is what they are waiting for. Thousands of properties belonging to Biafrans are being destroyed by the Nigerian government, rendering our people homeless and hopeless. Again, your vote can change all that. When you want to stop the blood-sucking government from ruining your lives, you cast your vote. That will solve all that. Nobody is going to steal your vote this time. This time, we will show them how to run a country with a happy citizen in Africa. We must vote in the ongoing Biafra self-referendum to free ourselves and secure our lives and properties. So, when you go home today, what I want you to think about is, what am I doing to help restore Biafra? What am I doing to support the men on ground? What am I doing to make sure our people are not killed anymore? What am I doing? That should be the question everyone should be asking. So if you know you're not doing anything, still not too late. This is the time for you to rise up and do the needful. So we thank all Biafran forces wearing our different uniforms. We also thank their families who has been so supportive in these heavy times. We are forever grateful. We will never lose our purpose. May God bless the United States of Biafra. Thank you all. And my love for you guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. All right, dear friends, you've had our sister. There is a charge. What are you doing about Nigeria persecution of Biafrans? What are you doing? That is a question. The Biafra Republic government in exile and the de facto government in the homeland want each and every one of you to have a conversation with yourselves. Ask yourself, am I doing enough? Even if you are doing something, we must always strive to be better than ourselves. So if you started here, you must be doing better. Ask yourself, am I doing enough? If you have not started, ask yourself, why is that? Why are you indifferent? There's nothing that we are doing today that is more important than freedom. So please take this question, go to a quiet corner before you sleep every day. Ask yourself, what have I done for Biafra? If you're a Biafran, regardless of where you are, you don't have any other identity but Biafra. No other home. You may have adopted home, it's adopted home. So, as we move forward in our program, you know, we have assembled Biafrans that would really talk to us. And the next speech will be given by Dr. Emma Mwabeze. Ladies and gentlemen, we will have to hear from one of our Biafra War veterans, Dr. Emma Mwabeze. Dr. Mwabeze, who hails from Olo State in Old Imo State, was 26 years old in 1967 when Nigeria invaded Biafra. Dr. Mwabeze fought the war along with his comrades, some of whom actually died in the war, and may their souls rest in peace. But like many survivors of that genocidal war, Dr. Mwabeze moved abroad to pursue his destiny and ended up training to become a medical doctor. He has been an ardent supporter of Biafra liberation. Dr. Mwabeze has spent resources doing so. He is an active participant in Biafra self-referendum voting. So, Biafrans, please join me in welcoming our most esteemed veteran, Dr. Emma Mwabeze. Welcome, sir, and the mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Professor Chioma. Prof, we all love you. I have to start by greeting His Excellency, Edward Simon Njoku, his cabinet ministers and members in the BRGIE, and also in de facto government in the homeland. I have to say that I'm privileged and honored to speak to you, mainly on the Biafran issue, Biafran war, and also do some touches about voting and ID cards. I'm aware that our Honorable Obi has already put a signature on that issue. I think I may digress from time to time, but the main issue today is not my achievements in that war, because it was a brutal war. In 1967, I was a chemistry master teaching at Mercy Girls High School in Bossy, which was in the old Aba Agda State. I was teaching there. And then we're suddenly informed about July, the first week in July, that a war has broken up. I said, how? We didn't know. And all the teachers, every person was dismissed. I came back home. Fortunately, I happened to come from Uguta district, Osobo the area. My senior brother, who is still alive, he's 96 years old, so he's still alive. You know, in those days, in the 50s and the 60s, the first son controls everything, supersedes your father, even though when your father is alive. He objected my joining the army. He's the first son, I'm the second, but he objected. So I didn't listen to him. I have to run away and go and join. Anyway, what I'm going to say a bit is that today we honor the fallen heroes and heroines, especially during that brutal war, and the people who are still falling in the present Biafra Defense Force, comprising the Biafran BLA, Biafran fighters, the Navy, the Air Force. They're still dying. And also millions, about 3.5 million children starved to death with kwashiorkor, big bellies. You have already seen that. I am not going to gloat over what I did there. The important thing that I'm still aggrieved to today, I'm still honoring for very dear friends and colleagues. You remember that it is said, if you see a corpse or a coffin being carried, you just look around and say, oh, that looks like a bunch of firewood. That's an Igbo saying. They haven't said it in Igbo because it has not touched you. When something touches you, when I say touches, it means affecting any member of your family, your close relative, your friends, then you know the pain. That's exactly what happened. There were four of them I'm going to mention. Millions died, or thousands died in the war, thousands. But I'm going to start by mentioning Captain Kajetan Nsofo from Uguta. Then I have my classmate, Victor Erize, who went still married for 5 years. He's an Ijaw boy. Then I have Mark Demiri, who is an Ngwa boy. And then we have Achiko. Achiko was the only son of his father from a very wealthy and chieftaincy clan. He was the first person to die when he went to the front. I was fortunate, among other 15 people, to bring him back because he was the only son of the father. As I say, I'm not going to gloat over what happened. But you remember that before the war, about 2 or 3 days before the war, the actual war, Gowon, who is still alive, is going to continue being alive until the 2nd of December. So I saw that Tinubu will be alive. Fortunately, he has recovered from his poisoning. He's going to be alive. They're going to be alive. Gowon went on the air and also on television, announcing about the 2nd of July 1967, that he was going to send a police expedition to Biafra. Our people did not take any note about that. By the 6th of July 1967, the Vandals fired the first shot before we could realize. Remember, the Nigerians were about 85 strength in the army. They had heavy weapons, everything supplied by Britain. They have to call the Egyptians and the Russians to fly their meat. They always call people to fight for them. Anyway, when you go to the front, you see this huge, tall, black, very dark. And you think that they are coming from Sudan. When you see them, you get frightened, because I'm big now, but in those days we were small. You see such people, it is frightening. This happening. But we stood, because we didn't have the weapons. We didn't. That is why Enugu fell very quickly. And Port Harcourt followed. And from Enugu, we have to move them back to Umuahia. So as I honor all the fallen heroes and heroines, these 4 people mean a lot to me, and their memory have always been in my mind to continue fighting until we achieve Biafra. Many people died. I'm very fortunate to be alive. I think I only reached my place when Owerri fell. I only got home. From the time I entered and the time I left, it was almost towards January 1970, when Owerri fell and the Uguta was to be captured. They came with their gunboats, this and that. At the end of the war, or so-called, having reached the rank of a captain, we have to, because the Vandals, they said they were going to kill us, many of us had to go and hide in the forest for 2 weeks or more. And I said I wasn't going to gloat over this, what I did. But I have to tell every person to be aware of this, that the war took us unawares. We were not prepared. We were not prepared. The warning that Gowon gave, metaphorically, we didn't take into consideration the bounce on us. By the time we knew Enugu was all over, within a few weeks of there, Enugu was taken over. But what I'm going to mention is that it's not the exploits of that war, it's the mistakes we made. I'm very gratified, very happy that our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saw it in advance. You know, this generation we have now are forward thinking. You know, look at the cabinet members. They are forward thinking. Our PM is forward thinking. We have the brain. They have been saying that we'll go to do everything with brain. They have corrected the mistakes we made. And that's in 1967 to 1970. They have corrected it. Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi, our Prime Minister, Mazi Salman Ewa, have corrected it. Let me tell you that. In 2020, on December 12th, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu flagged the pose, I mean, I won't say the fund, but collapse ESM. There were hundreds of thousands parading. We're all in awe what is happening. That was the first sign of our guerrilla warfare, which we didn't do in 19 during the war. It came very late. You cannot fight a conventional war with somebody, the enemy, the army bigger than you, with mighty, bigger weapons. You can't. You can't fight a conventional war. We're not in the Middle Ages. You have to do what they call guerrilla warfare. And all of you bear me witness that the establishment of ESN, Eastern Security Network, was the beginning of the guerrilla warfare. You remember, I was a student of Nnamdi Kanu in the university when he used to preach, especially when Ohafia Barracks was doing all the dirty work, killing our people, disembarking them and the rest of it. He said, you know, dig a hole, got a trench in the road and cover it with leaves and so forth. Put some nails on the road. When their cars and their whatever armor cars or all this is coming, they have to stop. It is then we attack them. That is what they call a sort of guerrilla warfare. And lo and behold, our Prime Minister, our able Prime Minister, our forward-thinking Prime Minister continued with that. The ESN had men in the bush. The collapsed ESN has men in the bush. Our present, I'm using the word, the Biafra Defense Force. You know, it comprises BLM fighters, Navy and Air Force. We're not visibly seeing the Air Force, but it is there. We're shooting the vandals. Please, I'll use the word vandals because that's what I'm used to. I'm a rebel. Yes, I'm very proud of it, to be a rebel. So these are the things that we're now correcting. And our Prime Minister had said something that we did not do during that war, during the Biafran war. Our Prime Minister now said on the 2nd of December 2024, when he declares it, we are going to defend our borders. We are going to defend our borders in the 40 states of the United States of Biafra. We didn't do it during the war because this was porous. We didn't have enough army. We didn't plan anything. It was pushed on us. Lo and behold, despite all these shortcomings, we're able to manufacture the RAP, research and production. They were able to manufacture Winigwe and other things and so forth to sustain. And most of the weapons we use were actually getting it from the vandals, killing them and getting that. So that was so. But if we have started guerrilla warfare earlier, we could have dragged this into 5 years. And before then, all these mighty countries will recognize us. Yes, we are grateful to Tanzania, Zambia, Ivory Coast, Gabon, and Haiti. Oh, you didn't know the trick of this country we are here called Britain. Britain is a colony country. In 1966, they caused the Six-Day Israeli-Arab War in order to deceive and digress what is happening in Biafra, so that our brothers, our natural brothers, our cousins, the Israelis, will not be able to come and help us. They helped us very little. And why I'm saying this, and I want to make it, I say I will digress from time to time. Listen, I am a proud, active, practicing Roman Catholic. The Caritas helped us a lot from that stretch of Uli Airport. And many of us who are Roman Catholics are active and supportive of Biafra. I would die for Biafra. So I don't want people to be talking on their platform about a pope who did this or Bishop Heroines. That is their own problem. The homages, the pope who's dangerous, and all those Satan and all the things they do and so forth. It is not all their people were with them. It is their own fault. Everything is on their head. So don't make this trying to divide. It's always divide and rule. Yes, Honorable Obi has mentioned a little bit of what happened to our people, the war. But I have to say this: this war, this Biafran war, started 1803. You people know that. That was the history, the Igbo landing in Duba Creek, Georgia. 72 Igbo slaves overpowered their masters in the boat and so forth. But when they got down to that trip, they said, instead of them being slaves, they all drowned. That is where the war started. And between 1988 and 1883, for 10 years, there was the Ekumeku of Asaba. They fought for 10 years. These are all genocidal wars. Then we have the 1901 to 1902, the Anglo-Arab War. That was one of the main reasons was the Britain introducing this divide and rule, bringing what they call these warrant officers who are going to deceive people, this and that. And initially they were taxing the men, and then come down to tax the women. They rejected it, they revolted. And also they wanted to change our custom, the Igbo custom, said no. And then many people, about 100 of them were killed, were massacred. More recently, 1949, you remember the shooting at Eva Valley coal mine in Enugu. This chief superintendent, senior police officer, with some of these native this and that, for no reason, because people were just bad conditions of working conditions, and shot them and killed 21 of them. You see? So I'm just trying to give this and that. And then I think in 1929, when this the the Aba-Opobo riot came up again. And many people were killed. Then see, I'm not mentioning about the killings in the 1953, 1957, 1960, 66. It has been that to do with anything against us. But I'm trying to see where, because we're Republicans who have the way, a specific way of thinking, of living. But we're always fair. The Biafrans are fair people. Listen, when I say Biafran, I mean all the Igbos. I'm without coming on to another point. Sorry, I'm digressing, but I'm just trying to cover a few things. So what is happening now is that the war has started long ago and then culminated in 1967 to 19 December. Look at Asaba again. This is the second massacre. Asaba was massacred. The Ekulekos, they were massacred years ago. And then during this genocidal war, they were massacred again. The reason because they were coming to welcome the Vandals. And they put them in a field and shot all of them, all children, boys, this and that. Well, this all genocide, this is the war that is continuing. And as I said, Honorable Obi has already shown this graphic, horrific graphic, this and that. Because some of the things I'm saying, this is in retrospect. But the worst I did was actually there. I know that I'm not going to say how many times I escaped death. It's not necessary. What I'm saying is not necessary. What is going to carry this war forward? What is going to carry it forward, Biafra forward, is what is going to happen now. What our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is doing. Yeah, let me come to the other side of that, of the voting. There's an incident that happens. So that I'm just making this address to Ogoni people, to Ibibio people, to Ijaw people, and the people from Iguacha, aka Port Harcourt, and etc. Many of you are not voting. Many of you are not voting because you think that the Igbos, yes, the soldiers, the Biafran soldiers, humiliated you, maltreated you. You have a point. You have a point. Everything you say, it is Igbo. Go and vote. When we declare Biafra, a commission will be set. I hope. I'm not in the process. The commission will be set to look into your grievances. But let me tell you, 54 years after the war, has your plight been better? Ogoni people, Ijaw people, Bayelsa people, has your plight been better? Go and vote, 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 so that you have your own freedom. You're able to manage your own state. The Igbos are not usurping anything. The Igbos have never usurped you. So go and vote. Stop grumbling. You have a genuine complaint. We shall look into it, or the government will look into it, set a commission to look into it, and it will be revisited. If there's any compensation that could be paid, but go and vote to be free. Because when the Fulanis come there, they're going to take your land. You become slaves forever. This is an opportunity. Then I come down to a bit to the voting. About a week ago, we were told, I think from the PM's office, or one of the places, that it was about 67 million, 6 million from homeland, and 1 million from diaspora. I was going down to lambast diaspora today. But fortunately, the good news I'm seeing there is 30 million, over 30 million. But remember, we pride ourselves, Biafrans, all the corners, all the 40 states, we pride ourselves that we're 80 million to 100 million. Where are they? Where are the 50s? Where are the 70 million? The people in diaspora are not voting. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be. If the Fulanis take over your place, you want to remain here as slaves, you could be kicked out. Just like me, I can be kicked out. My passport can be revoked at any time if they want to. So diaspora people, come out and vote. Come out and vote. You're a Biafran. You're a Biafran. No matter how long you stay here, our people say, I'm sorry to speak in Igbo, Agracha must come back. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, you must come back. When are you going back? Biafra. But we are going to hold you by block us. Our promise, we hold you by block us. You have to give evidence of what he did, how you helped. You have to. So I can talk from now to kingdom come. One of the things also they say, charity begins at home. Charity begins at home. Imam Abeze, I'm very proud of my family, Mwabeze and the clan. We have been able to raise up to over to 122 votes. It may look small, but it is my clan. And some friends I have in Canada, in Enugu, you can name them, have some included. So what I'm trying to ask every person, tell your clan, tell somebody, pick one person. Listen, the people who have voted, they give them the names, I send them to Boniface, my UK rep. I gave it to them. They vote. They were struggling. Say, oh, brother, you haven't put my name. Brother, look at that. There's hunger in them. Make your people to have that hunger to vote for Biafra, and Biafra should come. You don't need to wait. You don't need to entice them because they want to be free. The other thing, you have not approached them. But I have to thank the Prime Minister and the BRGIE cabinet for their fast forward thinking by bringing the voting condition much easier to the district level, to the grassroots. And that is what is causing that. This first batch of voting, BRGIE, Prime Minister, make it is much easier for more people to. So before October, before November, we may have 110 million people. God bless you. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so
Dear
much.
friends, let us appreciate our veterans.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Are we not blessed that we have a Biafra war veteran still fighting? Still fighting. And those of us that didn't see the war, some of us are just somewhere, not even minding. And our veteran said, Biafrans in diaspora, why are people in the homeland surpassing you? You have the free electricity, data. Why aren't you just voting? At least match the people in the homeland. 30 million, we have 60 plus the ones that have voted. So my people, let's keep voting. And we move on. You know, even the CIA here during the 1967 to 1970 genocidal war, recognized that Biafra had figured out an ingenious way of fighting the war. Dr. Nwabeze just told us that no preparation, it was just sprung on them. But as the time progressed, we figured it out. And now we've really mastered the way to defeat the Vandals. I am borrowing from Dr. Nwabeze. So yeah, the CIA figured it out, that we have really found an ingenious way to fight this war. Now, if the CIA, thousands of miles away, was able to figure this out, why didn't Nigeria? If Nigeria was a country that indeed wished good for Biafrans and for mankind in general, Nigeria would have latched onto Biafra creativity. That would have moved Nigeria forward. But rather, no, Nigeria wouldn't do that. They chose to stifle Biafra creativity, hoping that when they do that, they will enslave us in perpetuity. As they see that we are resisting, then they found the rotten eggs, like the governors, the politicians. They give them money, and those will be enslaved. We keep pushing. We will never be enslaved. So even though our leader of blessed memory, Philip Effiong, warned Nigeria, telling them that if they do not treat us well, that our children will rise. And that is telling our people that fought the war then. This was like a prophecy. It has gotten to a point that the only option we have is to fight back for our freedom. So along with our Prime Minister, several men and women of honor are behind the scenes fighting for our freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome the Biafra Defense Minister, Honorable Solomon Nkwocha. Thank you, sir. You take the mic.
Thank you very much, Honorable Professor Choma, for hosting this historic event. Good evening, Your Excellency, Prime Minister of Biafra Government in Exile, Mazi Eba Simon Njoku. Please, after this greetings, I would like over to listen to this short video. Good evening, Honorable Cabinet Ministers present. Good evening, Honorable Head of Departments of BRGIE. Good evening, Biafra Defense Forces, wherever you are doing a wonderful job. I salute you. Good evening, Biafra de facto government in homeland. And you, good evening, Biafrans watching from all over the world. My remarks this evening is to remind you of the importance of voting in this our self-referendum. Now, before I go further, I'd like you to listen to this short video. Minister of Information, please, can you play that for us quickly? Thank you very much.
Long tụkwasị Chukwu obi, ma ụzọ njọ njọ ihe egwu nsọtụ ya dị anya, zonye n'ike na-adịghị ike, tụkwasị Chukwu obi, ka izuzu ọjọọ laa n'iyi, ihe na-atụ ụjọ ihe, ma anyị na-aga n'ime mmeri, tụkwasị Chukwu obi. Mmadụ ụfọdụ ga-akpọgasị, ndị ọzọ ga-eleda anya, rapụ ha lee anya n'elu, tụkwasị Chukwu obi. Iwu mfe n'ezi ọdụdụ, udo n'ike n'ime obi, kpakpando na-enye ihe n'ụzọ, tụkwasị Chukwu obi. Jisike asụla ngọngọ, ụzọ gị gbaa ọchịchị, ihe dị ga-edu ndị nwayọ, tụkwasị Chukwu obi.
Nnamdi Okukalu, ọramadike ndị Igbo jisike, nwoke jiri ndụ ya wee chacha maka Biafra, wee rọpụtara anyị onye ndu ihe Simon Ekpa Ọbatobie. Okpe kwuru si na ise n'ike wetara anyị Biafra, odogwu Ọbatobie. United States of Biafra pụta n'igwe ka anyị tinye aka, ka anyị kwado n'obodo anyị mara mma na ọ dị ebube. Ọbatobie, nwoke batara na strọgụlụ ihe mgbanwe dị, nwoke njizu na n'onu ha amaba jijiji. Ọbatobie, anyị na-afụ ihe ị na-eme, nwoke kara aka, anyị na-afụ aka ọrụ gị, anyị na-ekwu ihe ị na-eme. Jisike adala mba, naanị tụkwasị Olise obi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. So, I mean, Biafrans, we should be very, very happy, and because we are very lucky to have two visionary leaders. You know, our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. They're visionaries, because without them, I don't think we'll be here where we are today, trying to restore Biafra. Because the previous leaders, they pretty much gave up. They gave up, and we were down to become slaves forever. But these two angels or honorables that came to our lives to say no, that we cannot be slaves in Biafra land, that we must fight. And every tribe or communities or region that ever gained independence, they always fought for it. It doesn't come easy. Freedom is not free. So freedom, you have to fight to get your freedom. Now, I just want to give you a few points. I'm not going to go into too many elements in this particular, to give you reasons why it is important for you to vote so that we can get freedom. One is freedom from powerlessness. Why do I say that? Powerlessness is when a region or a tribe is denied power. Okay, that have freedom of operation. oppression, when you're oppressed, the people, they deny you the benefit of participation, of economy, of your own resources. You are denied and you are given peanuts. You are very well oppressed. And don't take my word for it. You know, so there is something they said here. It's an operation. It says operation fuses institutional and systematic discrimination, personal bias, bigotry, social prejudice in complex web of relationship and structures that saturate most aspects of life in our society. That's what it says. So that's not, I didn't say, that's not my words. So, and of course, we have freedom of marginalization. I know we've been saying, all the Biafrans have been complaining for years and years and years that we are marginalized. I mean, this is probably, he heard it 100 times for everybody saying that, even though those in the zoo keep saying that. So marginalized, and then we have genocide, freedom from genocide. Our people have died, because right from the Civil War, the genocidal war, to even present day, we're still being killed. So genocide has been committed against Biafrans. So, I mean, we can even, because from Mpo to Asaba, to Obibo, to Owerri, to Uzowani, to Enugu-Ezike, to even recently, Okwama. So there's been genocide committed against us. Now, there's another element that I want you to consider. The Fulani Caliphate Manifesto. Okay, the manifesto is to take our land over, to give it to their Futajelons, the Alamajiris that are coming, flooding inside Nigeria and coming inside the Biafra land. So they want to take over our land, and give it over and take over and enslave every one of us. That's the manifesto, and they're still doing it. They have not given up doing it because it's in the manifesto. It may take them 100 years, but that's the ultimate goal. Okay, another one is, because now we talk about democracy. Democracy, now, or even the constitution. Now, where have you seen a country that has two constitutions? We have Sharia law, we have the other constitution merged into one. It's never happened. So all these reasons that I'm giving you should empower you to say enough is enough, that we want to free ourselves from this mental slavery that we find ourselves into now. So, and we have to do it by any means, any means available to us. So it's probably be better for them, to like say, all right, fine. We know you guys are serious and want to be independent. So like say, okay, let's come to the table and discuss this. And maybe we can be good, neighbors. We can be good neighbors to them. And of course we can trade with them. But if they force us to fight to get our freedom, then there will not be such friendly neighbors again, because we're going to put our borders, we're going to be as high as 20 feet high. We're going to erect that border wall. It's going to be even bigger than the one I have in Jerusalem and the Lebanese. So, but anyway, from going that one, so let's see about what we need to do. We need to do to avoid all these things I just mentioned, to give you reasons why we must exit Nigeria this year. We have started. I'm very happy to hear that over 30 million of all of us Biafrans have already voted. That's very, very encouraging. But we need more, much more. We want everybody to vote. I mean, we're about up to 90 million, according to estimates given to us, up to 90 million Biafrans. Okay, so if you are from Eastern region, you're a Biafran. So don't worry about that. Forget about all this propaganda by the governors, that start to scare us. What they try to do, intimidate us by killing us. If you come out with a flag, they kill you because you are fighting to become independent. I mean, for voting, do not be scared. I'm telling you, do not be scared to come out and vote, okay? Because they try to instill fear in you so that they don't come out. Don't let them win. They must not win this war. We are going to win this war, and our people are going to participate in the voting. We're going to vote, whether through gun, bullets, or sticks. We have to come out and vote, because forget about this intimidation they're trying to put on us. And I want our diasporans, please, for the sake of the 6 million people that died during the Civil War. I mean, you've had it. I don't have to repeat it. Our sister, Honorable Abi, put it very clearly for all of us to see. And then our veteran, Honorable Abi, also said a lot. So I don't need to repeat everything that they said, but everything they said, they're all valid. I'm just telling you to give you something that you can have as a reason for you to participate in this self-referendum that we are doing right now. Very, very important, because we are doing it for future generation. You're not even doing this only for yourself. Now, we're doing it for our future generations, our children, our future children, so that they can enjoy life. Look at what's going on here now in the Zulu nation called Nigerian. Look at what is going on. Our people are suffering. Cost of goods, untouchable. Our people at home are dying of hunger. They have no means. Many of them have no means even to buy medication for common illnesses, and they eventually die of a very preventable disease or illness because of lack of resources, monetary resources, economic resources. There's no food because our farms have been damaged by the Fulani herdsmen bringing their cows. And because now we're pursuing them. The Liberation Army are doing wonders, trying to pursue them, but there are so many. We can only do so much, but we are working so hard to make sure. That's why we need resources to equip our men on the ground. We need resources. Please join in providing the resources needed. Monetary resources, equipment, food, all those things they need to sustain them, encourage them, because we cannot fight on empty stomach. We have to have seen our men on the ground. They call me, I know, I'll talk to them on an everyday basis, and I know their needs. There is a lot, and they're managing, they're sacrificing. Sometimes they go without eating, and they still remain bold, remain courageous, remain brave in fighting our enemies. So that's why I want to encourage you, by voting, you are honoring the dead. You are honoring our heroes. By voting to get our independence, you will be rewarded by, at least for the generation to come, for what you did. For what you did, Biafra will come. For voting, Biafra will come. So I want to encourage you, from all these things I've just listed, the Constitution that is not favorable to us, favorable to other Fulanese. From our natural resources, they take from our land and take it to the north, and we're suffering from power. We don't have any power, of course. All the powers are concentrated in the north. Okay, from depression, from genocidal incidences that we've been seeing, killing of our people, for the reason of they say they want to have Biafra. That's all, which is the right of every human in this world. You have the right to want to be independent, to pursue your own goals and aspirations, to pursue your own destiny. When people come together, they have the right to be on the self if they want to. And we say that we are tired of being part of Nigeria because of their evil plans against us. They have evil plans against us, and that's the reason why we don't want to be with them anymore. This has gone on since 2014, from 1914 to 2014. That's 100 years. That 100 years that Lord Lugard and his girlfriend stated that after 100 years, if you don't get along, if you're not integrated, you have the right to separate. We are past that 100 years now. Why wouldn't they allow us to be on our own, to at least, we want to be our own. Let us go and fail. Let us manage ourselves. If we fail, it's on us. If we succeed, it's on us. At least let us try. So, dear friends, I thank you all for listening to me. I'm going to make it short. I don't want to stay too long on this. And I thank you all for listening. Thank you, Professor Choma, for allowing me to speak. And also, God bless Biafra, God bless and all our defense forces, whatever they are, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
God bless
Defense
you too.
Minister. Thank you. All right, dear friends, is there any Kwashiorkor survivor in the audience or a survivor of the Biafra War, a veteran that wants to give us a 1-minute speech? Please raise your hand if you want to.
Mazi Moshe Amos. His hands is up, I think. But I don't think he's a veteran because he doesn't look old. He doesn't look like sorry, not old, but looks like
doesn't look like a
younger
veteran
person. Yeah.
Any veteran in the
I've
house?
given him the mic. Let him speak. If he's actually using another person's photo, he will let us know why his hand is off.
Oh.
And our New York admin, Wanda Love, are you there? Wanda Love, are you there? Our New York admin, Wanda Love, are you there on the mic? Wanda Love, are you there? You're far from your device. All right. Moshi Amos, unmute yourself. We've given you the mic.
Good evening, Biafrans.
Good evening. Are you one of the war survivors? Because it's time for the war survivors to speak. If you have a different question, you can wait later on.
Okay, I have a different question.
Okay, you wait, because we are following the program. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, my minister, you may go on. When we have, okay, Nenna is here. Nenna is here.
Okay, Honorable Nenna, take the mic.
Thank you. Everybody. I greet my PM and all the ministers, everybody here. I wouldn't know what survivor means. But for me, I am a survivor of Biafra War. I wasn't old enough to go to war. I did not carry gun, but I carried hunger. I was among those who had that protruding belly you saw there. Maybe if I use microscope, I might see myself in one of them. I never knew what was happening. But to God be the glory, the relief came according to my parents, and we were saved. We were the last batch that were saved before it became more catastrophic. I think what happened here is that as the Biafran government is, taking the towns and villages from the up north, which is from the northern part of Biafra, which is around Enugu. So those ones were more hungry than us in the western part, which is in Owerri side, before they could come down to Owerri to conquer us. I think it was in the later part of the war. So our own hunger wasn't as severe as those ones up there. But we were all hungry. Everybody was hungry. I cannot forget, because one thing Biafra, the war made us is it makes you to be more wise. You know more than what you're supposed to know, because the childhood in you is lost. There were no more childhood in you. So what you know is what every elder know, how to identify that fighter jet is coming, and you'll be out, they will shout that you should go and run into the hole and hide and all those things. So I am a victim of Biafra war by virtue that I suffered kwashiorkor. Actually, you people call it kwashiorkor. It is actually called marasmic hush. So marasmus is a severe aspect of protein loss in a child, whereby there will be no more growth. Those children are stunted. And then kwashiorkor is the actual, loss of both protein and carbohydrate, giving the child nothing in his or her body that give them that debilitated look. So, but after the war in 1970, thank God, because we are from the agrarian area. So our parents went to farm and they were able to plant foodstuffs. Within 4 months, corn was available, and that was the beginning of our recovery. But one thing I did growing up and knowing this type of story is to dive into understanding why did we suffer? Why did we children suffer so much? And it took me to read over 10 post-Biafra war novels or books. From the one that Ojukwu wrote, to Chinua Achebe's 1 or 2 books, many of them, all the Biafran authors. I read so much. But one I didn't read, and I'm not going to read it, is a lie told by Obasanjo in my command. I refuse to read it because he lied so much in that book. So I also know in my reflection that people like us that were saved, there was a reason for it. I never knew. I went to school in UI. I knew what I suffered, the racism I suffered in UI. I don't know whether you people know. Racism in University of Ibadan. Just being an Igbo is all what you need to be. And I mean, I can't remember how many times I beat somebody very well in the class because you curse Ojukwu. You don't talk about Ojukwu when I'm there. You don't. So I now knew that many of us who were saved and are alive today, it was for a day like this, so that we can be part and parcel of the recovery of who we are, the restoration of Biafra. Many people here don't know why I am engaged in this. They don't know. It's not about any position. It's not about anything. It is about restoring back the dignity of a Biafran child whose dignity was exposed. You saw it there. None of them had clothing on their body. And it is day and night, 24/7. They are naked, exposed to the elements. You are talking about someone who has no food in the stomach. How will you be talking about wearing a dress? The dignity of a Biafran child was lost. But to God be the glory that from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to our Prime Minister, we are about to restore it back. And we will restore it. I've told everybody within my platform, my family here, the little money you are asked to, you better contribute it. Because if anything happened and we are not able to get this Biafra, you are all going to be vanquished. There will be no more us anywhere in they will precisely remove Igbo or Biafrans from the map of Nigeria. They will do it. So it is important that we pour everything that we owe so that Biafra must be restored. Our dignity must be restored. Our name must be restored. Our culture, our well-being, everything that we are has to be restored. I was listening to the veteran that just spoke a few minutes ago. He made a statement of fact. He said Nigerian government took them unawares that there was no guerrilla warfare. Say, hey, okay, so this guerrilla warfare is actually a good thing. So I begin to understand it. So it means we are standing on a good footing, and this war we will win, and Biafra we will restore, and I will go back home. In my 100 years, 98, I will tell my great-grandchildren what I did and what I said for Biafra to come. Biafra we must get. Airborne.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
Ma.
much.
We honor you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will never lose our purpose. Biafra, we must get. Papa Luke, take the mic.
My honorable minister, members of cabinet, Biafra public government in exiles, de facto government in homelands, all administrators, Biafrans around the world. It is an honor, it is a privilege to be alive and to witness what we are doing today. Remembering what we have been through. I guess for me, it has always been a living memory. As old as I am now, I thought I have overcome, but I still have not. I was barely 8, 9 years when the war started. As a child, you know, we played, and I remember I was in school. My father was a headmaster of our school. And all of a sudden, we are not going to school anymore. We have no clue what was going on. As a child, we don't know. We knew there are some movements. We see some military people moving around, but we don't know what was that all about. My father had 2 wives. My mother is the first wife. The second wife had 7 children. And within a space of 1 month, 5 of them all died because of hunger. My mother had kwashiorkor, and my little brother had kwashiorkor. Up till now, I don't know why I did not have kwashiorkor myself. We were running. We actually ran from my father's place to my mother's place just to be alive. And as the war progress continues, we were almost, if the war had gone for another year, I would have been a child soldier. Because every hope was taken away from us. Our childhood life lost, our opportunity to go to school, because school those days, we are under big trees in the forest. School will start at 5 a.m. Before 7 o'clock. We have to stop because of the air raid. Market surrounds us, can start from 4 a.m. Before 6:30. Everybody have to go because the Nigerian Air Force will be bombing the markets at the sunlight. Our houses were covered with palm front leaves to block the shining, because anything that shines to Nigeria Air Force is the target and they're going to bomb it. These are things that we were subjected during the war. They call it a war, but to us it's not a war. I still have no clue why Nigeria decided to treat the Eastern region that way. But looking back, and when the war eventually was over, the war ended in our hometown within Nkwere Olu area. Because when the federal troops were shooting, we actually had to run inside to Amibo, run away, because we live by the road. Our house is by the major road. And from there, we come out with palm fronts and we were shouting "One Nigeria" to, thinking that the war is over. And what happened next was shocking, because about 4 of us went to fetch water from our stream. As we were coming back, one tall, lanky man, we know him as Dogo, that's his name. He called me, say, "Small boy, come here." I was carrying a bucket of water on my head. And he said, "Come here." So I went, and he took the water from my head. I thought he needed the water to carry the water, to use the water. The next thing, he asked me to sit down. I sat there, and the people that I was coming with, they start going. And I keep looking at him. I said, "Can I go?" And I say, "You're not going anywhere." I say, "You should sit there." I sat there. About an hour or so, a command came that they should move and they should start going back to Owerri. This man packed his luggages and he put it on my head. He said, "I will follow him to Owerri." From Owerri in Nkwere, I trekked for 27 kilometers from Owerri to Owerri. We got there in the night, and I haven't eaten any food before then. And when we got there, they camped outside, the shell camp in Owerri, outside the gate. That's where all the militaries camped. And by the time we got to Owerri, you cannot see any human being walking around the street, because people who are alive have all run away. The whole town was like a ghost place. We slept under the, outside there, and the next morning, they command this battalion of Nigerian Army to go to Ngokpala towards Aba. And we started again. By then, in the morning, my legs swelled. I have not eaten any food. And we started trekking again. And as we started heading towards Aba Road, on both sides of the road, you can see corpses, decomposing corpses, both old and young and children. People who were walking and they could not go any further, they fall over and they die. We continue walking. When my Oga, we call him that time, the Dogo guy, there were family that had bike with all their belongings on top of the bike. They commandeer, they used all those military terms. They commandeered this bicycle from the family, and this Nigerian soldier, Dogo, used the bike and he just went ahead and he forgot that I was coming with him. And when we got to the Ngokpala junction, we don't know where. We continue going. A group of us, about 20, we just keep going. But we noticed that the number of people coming are lesser. We don't know anything. I keep going until we get to Owerenta. Owerenta, there is an oil mill in Owerenta. There's another set of army that we are there. So when we get there and saw this other set of army, we just stopped there, and I was almost fainting because I've not eaten for almost 2 days. No food, and keep walking and walking. Now, I was fainting, and another soldier come around and he said, "Small boy, are you okay?" Say, "No, I don't speak good English." I just said to him, "Hungry." I keep beating my tummy. I say, "Hungry, hungry, hungry." He said, "If I give you Gary, will you have water to?" I say, "Yes, yes, yes." I don't know where I'm going to get water, but let me see the Gary first. So he went and used the bayonet. There is a aluminium thing the military use for their food, and he brought Gary and he gave it to me. There's a house of the captain in charge of the battalion. I just went there and said to them, "Please, can I have water?" So I need water. The lady there graciously gave me water and poured it inside the Gary for me. I was using my hand, just eating like crazy. Within minutes, even seconds, I finished the whole thing, and then I fall down, and whether I fainted or I fall asleep, I think I fall asleep there. And that lasted till the next day. And as I woke up in the morning, I started looking for this man that gave me Gary. He happened to be someone from the Ikotepene area of Biafra land, but was fighting for the Nigerian army. His name was Linus. So when I found him, I hold him, I say, "You saved me, God will save you. You saved me, God will save you." As I was crying and holding, he said, "No, that's fine." He said, "How are you here? You are just by yourself." I said, "Don't." I said, "My Oga, that way, my Oga." Keep pointing back to where we come from. He said, You mean you are just by yourself here?" I said, "Yes." He said, Can you stay with me then?" I said, "Yes." And that's how I stayed with this man. And of course, before the evening, they were ordered to go to Aba. So at Umongasi area, we stopped there again. The next morning, we went to Aba. When we got to Aba, there were not even a lizard. All you see is corpses all over side of the road. Now, we went and stayed at Ovom Girls High School in, what is it called? Obohil side of Aba that time. Now, from this time, my mother had no clue where I was. And this man, after some time, he was given leave to go and visit his parents to let them know he's alive. He survived the war. He took me to his village. And we went to his village. He wanted to leave me with the mother as his trophy from the war. But I refused. I managed to follow him back to Aba. This lasted from January till July. Nobody knew where I was. My mother had no clue where I was. Until one day my mother prayed and she came to Aba and said, "Lord, I don't know where my son is, but I'm going to look for him. If you can help me find him." So my mother started coming to Obohil. And I traveled from the Ovom Girls. It's quite a distance. Coming to the Obohil area, that's where my Oga was. He was on duty post that day. Coming along the road, I was coming and my mother was coming. I was looking at her, she was looking at me. And I recognized her. I called Mom, say, "Look." We both run and hugged ourselves. She cried and I cried. I told her that the military that took me refused to let me go. And I took her to where I was, to my master, and the man promised that he is going to let me come with her to go home the next day. He would be paid and he will give me money that I will go. That convinced my mom. My mom went back to my sister's place and I went back to Ovom Girls. Now, the day came, the man refused to give me any money to go home. And my mother again waited 2 days. She didn't see me. She came back. When she got to that point we met, she lifted her and said, God, this is where I met my son. Please help me. I want my son again. She was standing there for some hours and a young man that was walking by. And he called the young man. He said, please, my son, I am looking for my son. He said, his name is Luke. Do you happen to know him? This man said, yes, I know Luke. I know him. He's far away. My mother pleaded that he will lead him to where I was. The young man agreed and started to bring my mother to where we were staying. It was quite a distance. My mother was telling me, she said, well, Lord, if I die because of Luke, he said that is enough for me. And when they get to where we were, in the middle of nowhere, I went to the Mami market to buy stuff. She didn't see me, but they acknowledged that that's where I live. My mother stayed in that place. When I came back, guess who I saw inside the house? It was my mother. Immediately she saw me, she took the food and threw it away and grabbed me by the neck and said, we are going now. That was how I escaped the trap of the Nigerian army. And we went back home. Now, this might mean nothing to people, but you can understand why my life is dedicated to make sure that Biafra is restored. We knew exactly what the pain, the agony, the loss of hope and hopelessness that Nigeria has brought to us. Children of my time, we did not know what school is. After the war, we began to survive. I look back today, where I am and what I have become, I owe it all to my Creator. And having seen what I went through, I don't want my children to go through the same. And I want to thank my Prime Minister. I mean, this morning, in his morning, when in his State of the Union broadcast, it wasn't just dedicated to the fallen heroes, but we are celebrating the living heroes of today. And every one of us in this cabinet, we are all heroes who want to make sure that Biafra come in our time, and is coming. Thank you. Sorry for taking, this is a very passionate aspect of my life that many people have no clue about, but what best time to share if not like today? And this is why we don't want this to repeat anywhere. Thank you, my honorable ministers, for hearing this from me. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's unbelievable.
Thank you,
so
Sir
much.
Luke.
Thank you so much.
Honor you.
Thank you.
We honor all that suffered.
Yes.
And thank you for your service. Biafra, we must get.
Amen.
There's no other way. And as Nigeria watches, they know they inflicted pain on us. They know we are angry. And they know we are going to destroy Nigeria for what they did to us. There's no going back. Thank you, sir. Honorable Chukwu Manjoko, you take the mic.
Thank you, Professor. Dear friends, Prime Minister, honorable ministers of Biafra Republic government, I'm glad I've been following, and all this while, I'm getting these testimonies, I've been shedding tears, then going back memory lane. Well, I didn't go to war, but I was a survivor of the war. Today, by God's grace, I just clocked 60 years. So that you will imagine. And I was among those who suffered the kwashiorkor. Why was it so? I was 3 years. I was 3 years around that 67, 68. You know, one fateful night, I was in the kitchen eating with my elder brother, who is still alive today. He went to war, just like Sir Luke said. We were all eating together with my mom. So they came and conscripted. This one now, it was Biafran army, not Nigerian army. They conscripted my brother by force. Took my brother from our home, from Bano area where we live, and then to unknown destination. Women, God will bless all of you for their determination. No mother would like in open daylight see her child die. My mother left us all behind. Me and my other younger one started running. My mother left, following from our north side, went to Okigwe, and then that is how she was asking question. Yet for how many days my mother was away? Ask me who was feeding us? Nobody. So to cut it short, we experienced hardship. And we saw it. It wasn't palatable to us. And I thank God. I give God the glory today that I read through what happened, and I saw what happened. At the time, my father was in the Biafran Army intelligence. So in the heat of the crisis, he managed to. Our area very bush. We are diving inside the bush when the fighter jets come, bombing everywhere, bombing schools, bombing this. When they started bringing relief materials, as small as we are, all of us, we run to the field where the helicopter will land with corn meal, with corn meal and so on and so forth. We are all receiving. But when our area was about to fall, then we have to run inside the interior bush, and very far away from us. That is where my father kept us, inside the bush. So whenever they get something, they bring. Sometimes we don't eat. Sometimes we eat. When they get something, they'll come there and give us, and then go. He will go back. So all these things happen. The people who never saw war, and especially the people who are maltreating us right now in the north. I happen to be a teacher, and I choose to serve in the north. I served in the north, and I retired in the north. So there, they were even making mockery of us. An Hausa boy who happened to be under me, I was his HOD. Then he openly told me that we, no matter how we struggle, that we are slaves in Nigeria. This thing, I retired in 2014. I voluntarily retired. So this boy told me that we are slaves in Nigeria, and that nothing will make us come out of this slavery. And with this, bearing this in mind, I said, no, whatever thing gonna happen, let it happen. I must make sure I pray every day in my prayers, even before join this struggle, right from home before I came to where I am, you know. at the time I was in Nigerian politics, but God spoke to me. I listened to the voice of God. I have to abandon everything. You know, I have to abandon everything just to the line of this, discussing it in the north. They say they will kill me every time I'm bringing Biafra. They call me Biafra in the north. As I say, okay, anything you like, call me. So our people really suffered, and anybody who is not making effort, anybody who never subscribed to this freedom movement and make any impact or make any contribution towards emancipation, that person will suffer. That person will suffer. And as a child, 3 years, 4 years during the course of the war, what I suffered, what if my children now begin to suffer the same thing and I'm not there? Who will take care of them? They will curse me. For we knew that I know what happened, and we experienced this, and I did nothing. So that is why I keep in myself. I say, no matter whatever it takes, and no matter how little I could make. So let me be partner to this, and maybe God in His infinite mercy, we hear our cry this time around, and save us, because this would have long-term agenda to annihilate us. They don't want us to live at all, because I know I experience, I interact with them. You understand? So anything Biafra, they they don't want to hear it, and anything they can do to make sure that they change our name, even our environment, they will do it. And this is what they plan on ground. So I thank all of you, and we that survive, I give God the glory, and may that which happened to us never happen to our children. And we have to, all hands must be on deck at this time. That's why I just with myself, I'm happy to say, let me just listen, follow this one. I will follow everything that is happening up to the end, right away. But the regrets I'm having, and that's what I always tell my rep in the US. The regret I'm having is that most of us Biafrans that are here where I am, I'm in the Caribbean here. So many of them don't seem to understand. I was discussing with somebody today who called himself president of Nigerian Association. Sir, forget about Nigerian Association. Nothing. You don't know Nigeria more than me. I've visited the whole 36 states of Nigeria. I lived in Kaduna for 3-4 years. You do understand? So I work in the north. You do understand? And Nasarawa, I worked there for more than 20 years. So I don't know what you're telling me. They say, no, what you can do, that we coming together, we can regain ourselves, and we can reposition ourselves politically. I said, my friend, stop that. So I quarreled with him. I said, don't call me. I will not talk to you again until when Biafra is restored. When Biafra is restored, you will say congratulations to us. And I know you are Biafra. You say, yes, you will be a Biafra, but then you're not doing good to yourself by not telling God that God saved me and save my generation. So let me just hold in there. I thank God that I survived, and just like many of us. So thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
We honor you as well. And the last speaker would be Veteran Dragon 2, so that we go back to our program. Thank you. Veteran, take the mic.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Chioma. I want to thank you for what you are doing for Biafra. Yesterday, when you were tearing Kenneth, I was glued to your speech, and I'm so happy you did what you did. And I know by now you should feel like he was never born, he was never alive to see or to hear you. I want to thank our Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I want to thank our Prime Minister. Today, I have been dancing when I heard that we were expecting 20 million, and we were within 4 million, and then 5 million. I was just telling myself, if we were able to get 15 million, that would be okay. To my surprise, our Prime Minister was making his State of the Nation address, we discovered that we are now 30 million. I'm so happy. God has vindicated us. God is with us. I'm so happy. I was born in Port Harcourt. I'm from Aludo State. I was born in Port Harcourt. That's Wigwacha. I school at where at that time was Umapara Trinity School, primary school. And today they call it Rumapara. Then we're living at Rumokuta. That's where they call Rumokuta. And then the coup happened. After the coup, then when Hiroshi was killed, our leader Juku began to ask, where is J2E? I won't forget when he keep on asking, where is J2E? Because when they killed him, they just said he was kidnapped to an unknown destination, and they kept mute for a long time. Then eventually the war broke out, and then I was in secondary school at that time, year 2, that's Form 2 or Class 2, whichever we choose to call it. Then we began to organize, before the bus company was formally integrated into the formal military. We began to organize ourselves as youths, and then parading at night. Then those who went to Second World War, when they saw us, they now joined to help us, to train us as a boys company. Then while that was going on, we lost Bonnie through shell coming in disguise, as if they were carrying, coming as for business. We didn't know they were carrying Nigerian troops. We lost Bonnie, and gradually, one fateful day, the shelling sound began to sound so close to us in Port Harcourt, in Iguacha. And someone who was on a bicycle from my one, Port Harcourt is divided, my 1, my 2, my 3. From my 1 came over and said, just said to my father, what are you still doing here? That Port Harcourt is about to fall. Then immediately, we just took what we can take, and then locked the door. Then my father said we were 2, myself and my other brother. He said we should go to Grinta, and when we get there, we should wait for them. We went on a bicycle. So I was riding. When I'm tired, my other brother will ride, carry me, and then I will carry him until we go to Grinta. Then, and the shelling was now sounding closer and closer and closer and closer. Then eventually, when we got there, the very man that came to us and said Port Harcourt was about to fall now met us where we were still waiting for our parents to come around. He said, why wait for them? Come join me, let's go. Then we joined him, and we kept with the bicycle. We kept on going. Then my parents, when they now came to where they asked us to wait, they didn't find us. And there was no news as to where we were. So my parents suffered a lot, looking for us, running for their life, at the same time, looking for where we were. We couldn't meet each other. We parted ways. Then eventually we were able to get to where they call Ogbe, I think Ogbe, yes. Then we got a train to Aba. Then at Aba, I was at Umogele, a place called Umogele. Then after that, some time, then I went back to Aludo. I went back to my very village. Then in my very village, I now enrolled in the Red Cross. That was where I served throughout the war, in the Red Cross. There was a barrack in Kano. There was another barrack in Anya. Those who are from Aludo, you will know these places. So in the barrack that was in Akano, that was where we were trained as members of the Red Cross. I was never in the medical field, but there was a crash training. So after that, we were now posted out to the hospitals and to the war front. Then the first hospital I saw was Telu. That's where I began to see casualties as they were coming in. I cannot be able to narrate some of the casualties, what we saw when we were in the hospital, treating them, dressing them, the kind of wounds, deadly wounds that were. It was so horrible. And at this time, they will be coming with this plane that the Russians, Egyptians were flying, bombing markets, bombing anywhere they could bomb. Then finally, I was taken to another place that's in the war front, where we were now taking care of the soldiers, because when they carry them out from the war front, that's the first place they bring them to, before we now move them to a normal hospital. At that place, I won't want to mention the place, that's this place, because the kind of thing I saw there, you see, a whole town was deserted, completely deserted. Bushes have taken over a whole place. Buildings, you wouldn't know them until as you are going into the bush, you will not discover that there are buildings here. You will see skulls, human skulls, skeletons, all over the place. So that was where I now served till the war ended. But one thing that was remarkable was Biafra was divided into two at a point toward the latter end of the war. We had Biafra 1, we had Biafra 2. Those of us in Aludo were in Biafra 2. So what happened is that the Vandals have come to Umahia. So, you know, from Aludo to the other side, you have to pass through Umahia in most cases. So it became 1 and 2. And the Biafra 2 was majorly feeding Biafra 1. Now it came to a point where the soldiers in Biafra 2 now decided to go back and rejoin with those in Biafra 1, and they called it breaking of corridor. That was where we had the highest casualty. So breaking of corridor, it was planned to break the barrier and then move back to Umahia. Now that night, the soldiers came to my father's house, because my father was close to the barracks and we were all living together. And they said to my father that we want to leave, so it's your option. Either you join us or you stay, make your choice. My father said, okay, let's stay at home, because this is home. So there's no place going again. So they moved. It was later we heard that it was terrible at the breaking of the border. A lot of people died. Souls were lost. So what we suffered during the war is not something that any Biafran should stay aloof, should just keep on watching, stay on the sideline, and it is not something that anybody that is a Biafran should just fold his hands and watch what is going on. We thank God what has happened today. We have been vindicated. Biafrans are very hungry. We are looking forward. Everybody is tired of this so-called Nigeria, where that devours its citizens and destroys life and property. So what happened today? I am drinking, I am happy, I'm rejoicing. We have 30 million. So even before December 2, I don't know, we'll be up to 70, 80 million. But I'm happy. I rejoice with you, my Prime Minister. I rejoice with you, all the cabinet members, everyone, Sonia Agbarawa, Finance Minister, every one of you. We are toasting now. I'm toasting with you. Please, let's rejoice. Biafrans have shown that we are tired and we are hungry to regain our liberty, our freedom, our God-given freedom. So we are home already. Nigeria is dead and it's finished. There's not they've lost it and lost it and lost it completely. So I thank every one of you for what you are doing. Those of us who are now 70-something, we are happy. We are more grateful to God that we have kept us alive to see this day, and we believe that in our own time we are going to enter into Biafra. We're going to see Biafra. Thank you, every one of you, for what you've been doing, for what you have done, for what you continue to do. And I know sooner, we will all be in Biafra, dancing on the streets of Biafra and rejoicing. Thank you, every one of you, for what you are doing.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so much.
veteran. Thank you. God bless you, and we honor you. Thank you. All right, dear friends. We all know that fighting for freedom requires commitment, like the one we are making now. It's a commitment. It requires resources, like every Saturday. All of you are donating. Some are also donating even without the eyes of the world seeing them. There are anonymous donors. Fighting for freedom requires everything at your disposal. Your intellectual ability, any form of skill that you have that can serve Biafra. We need that. Biafrans have trusted the BRGIE Prime Minister, and Biafrans are willing to support him with resources that he needs for our freedom. Everybody wants this freedom. And we trust our Prime Minister, and we will support our Prime Minister because we love what he is doing. We've seen the green light. Certain individuals are better living up to this expectation of supporting the Prime Minister with all the resources that he needs than others. If you are not doing that already, please do something. Help Biafra. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, please help me or join me to welcome the Biafra Finance Minister, Honorable Oge Nkere. Honorable Oge.
Thank you very much, Professor Shioma, for all you're doing. Fellow Biafrans, I'm sorry that my camera is not on. First and foremost, I will say thank you to the God Almighty, Chukwu Okike Abiyama, that gave us life, that created us. And he knows why he created Biafrans to live in this beautiful earth. We know the reason why we are here today. That is to remember our heroes, to remember those that have sacrificed in fighting for freedom of their people, fighting for what they believe in. Before I will move forward, Minister of Information, Mazi Sonny Aparawa, please kindly, the video you are about to play, you don't have to, I know it's up to like 5 minutes length. If you can just cut it short because of our time, just play it for like 2 or 3 minutes so we can just get the message. Then after that, I will continue. Thank you. Mazi Sonny, can you please play the video? Thanks.
fight against Nigeria is with everything in us. Everything. And that's why we're defeating them. And those of you who do not want to be part of Biafra, pack your bag and leave Biafra land. I'm telling you, it is not going to be very conducive for you. Those of you who have been sabotaging Biafra, from the time immemorial, it will not be very, very conducive. Pack your bag and go. I am telling you the fact. The people of Biafra has risen up and nothing will stop them.
Our focus as a government is to make sure that we secure our land, make sure that our military, our army, our resistance fighters are funded, make sure that we provide them with enough sophisticated weapon, enough material to protect our women and our children. The thing as a government, what we are doing is to make sure that our people are not getting killed like other people in Nigeria are getting killed. It is the responsibility of this Biafra government. And that responsibility we are going to take till the day of the declaration of the restoration of independence of Biafra.
Let me tell you, we have just started. We will burn Nigeria down. To protect our people, protect our land, we will burn them down. Yes. And after that, therefore we come. I want you to understand that if you want peace, you prepare for war. Yes. What I've seen for the past 2 years is nothing to write home about. It's not anywhere in the media. Our people are being butchered, head chopped off by the people who are supposed to be protecting those people. The people they call governors in the southeast part of Biafra has become the tools.
This is the Biafra national anthem.
Seven rows, 14 rows, 21 rows, I love to go, man, beat!
Okay, thank you, Biafrans. First and foremost, greeting to our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Greeting to our Prime Minister. Greeting to the cabinet member of Biafra Republic government in Ezra, the rep, the coordinators, and all Biafrans. Fellow Biafrans, the reason why we are here today is to remember those that fought the good fight. Ask yourself question, are you going to be remembered in future? Ask yourself question, if not, what are you doing? For all the ministers and the speakers that have spoken today, they really highlight and touchlight in all we need to know about the Biafran War. And the veteran enlighten us the reason why we need to be prepared. One of our veterans said that Nigeria took us unaware. This time, fellow Biafrans, are we going to allow the zoo government, the zoo country called Nigerian terrorists to take us unaware? The answer is no. For that reason, what are we going to do? What is required from us? This is question that we answer. This is question that we are going to answer, each of us. It's a question
Minister, we lost you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I think, so Biafrans, since we don't want to be taken unaware, that's why the video that was played is to prepare the men on ground, is to prepare the Biafran army, so we can fight harder till the last man standing. How do we do that? Finance, money. We need to fund, get all the logistic, whatever it takes to defend our land. We were known that there will be casualty, but we just want to minimize it. We'll be asking the zoo government, the Nigerian government, to let us go. Just like what happened in Egypt. God asked Pharaoh, let the Israelites go, let my people go. And Pharaoh refused. What happened in Egypt will happen in Nigeria if they refuse to let us go. Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, said Nigeria will be worse than Somalia. There's ongoing war as I speak. We all know that. How do we fight this battle? What do we need to do to defeat our common enemy? We need to equip the men on ground. The men on ground that left everything they're doing, their family, Some of them have not spent time with their family for over years now. We need to equip them with the logistic ammunition wherever they need to fight back. And we have to do that as soon as possible. We don't have much time. We have to hasten up, just like the veterans said that Nigeria took us unaware during the war, because our leader, Ojukwu, was thinking that after the Aburi Accord, they have worked out issue between them and Nigeria as of that time. Until the zoo is always a zoo, a terrorist government is always a terrorist government. They change their mind. We are not prepared then. We have to be prepared mentally, physically, especially financially. If you are contributing towards the struggle, please, we appreciate you. We want you to do more. And for those of you that are asking, when is this Biafra going to come? Is Biafra coming this year? We're already in Biafra. We don't agitate anymore. We are liberating. If you know about war and how war is fought, you liberate your territory from neighborhood to the next block, to the next block, from community to the next community. You're liberating. There's fighting war going between we and the Nigerian state. That's why you see them sending bombs to Colonel Jet, bombing, fighting, while our men on ground are repelling them back. But the war don't talk about it. United Nations know about what's going on. As for United Nations, Nigeria is part of United Nations. You all know what's going on in Biafra land. If United Nations believe that they are not a demonic organization or occultic organization, why will they allow Nigeria to be part of the United Nations? A country that killed his own, that over 3 to 5 million, a country that murdered his own people, a country that terrorized his own people. They don't supposed to be in United Nations. If United Nations can recognize a terrorist organization, they vote to recognize them. What about we Biafrans? We are not terrorists. UN, wake up, do the right thing. If you are believe in justice, equity, and freedom, if you all believe that we live in a democratic world in this 21st century, do the right thing by supporting Biafra. Biafran people are good people. Even here in United States of America, in White House, there's Biafrans serving under the current president, Joe Biden administration. If Biafrans are terrorists, I don't think the government of America will allow them serve in that capacity. That means Biafrans are not terrorists. Biafrans are good people. Please, we want to let the world know they need to support Biafra. They need to recognize Biafra. They need to do whatever they can to make Biafra a reality, because Biafra is God's creation. Biafran people, if you have not supported this movement, ask yourself, why? And if you keep asking when will Biafra be restored, and you are not supporting, you deceiving yourself. Please, because of the time, I'm just going to round it up. The video we just watched is about our liberation army doing the needful. We need money. If you believe in Biafra, you believe in our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and our prime minister, and you are not supporting, because without finance, they're not going to be able to execute the order to the men on ground. They're not going to be able to get the equipment to get to the men on ground. If you are not yet supporting, you are the most foolish, idiotic human being on earth. And when you keep asking, when is Biafra going to come? And you have the money to support, devil is better than you. You are a hypocrite by doing that, because you know that if with your money, with your contribution, Biafra will be restored faster instead of delay. Thank you, Professor Shioma. Thank your team. Thank you all, Biafrans. In 2 days' time, we have our fundraising coming up. Kindly support financially. Without finance, we'll be behind. With finance, we'll go faster. We need money to be able to execute everything that we do. Thank you. God bless you from here. Bye-bye. Ndewo.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Minister of Finance.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of our program. On this note, I'm going to hand the mic over to the Minister of Information, Honorable Sonny, to give us a closing remark. Minister Sonny, are you here? Minister Sonny, can you hear me? All right. Minister Sonny is not around. Minister.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm
Yeah, he
here.
comes.
I'm here. Yeah, I was trying to get everything back and okay. So I'm here now. I'm here now.
Thank you, sir. Your closing remark.
Thank you, the minister from where everything is happening. That is how I would prefer to call you, the minister from where everything is happening. And the wonderful cabinet that you have. You have a wonderful cabinet here alongside with you. And you also have Mazi Uche. And you also have Mazi Goswill, you have Ijoma, you have Mazi Praise, and many others that everyone may not know. The key point here is that you all have done something that we did not do and we did not have when this genocide happened. Because when you listened to all the genocidal survivors of 66 to 67, you will always picture something that says there is something we did not do right. There was something we did not do right. But in this very dispensation, the Biafra Security Administration Department, the Biafra Referendum Electoral Forum, the Biafra Administration and Database Forum, whichever grammar that we can use to quantify the beautiful work that you all are doing, have made a great difference. Yes, dead bodies of our babies littered. Many of us were also butchered. Many of us survived. As we continue to remember our heroes who fell, we do well to count on those that are standing tall and those that have come to connect the dots. And the strides that will be spoken of us today as the heroes of yesterday in the nearest future. As we speak now, we call the names of our general and eternal leader, Ojukwu, and we call Philip Effiong. We call the likes of Obosi and Kaduna and Zoku. And then we also call our Honorable Minister here, Mwabweze Emmanuel, our veteran Dragon, our Papa Luke here, and many others that we've not mentioned their names. Same way, your names will be read out from the archives of Biafra tomorrow, that in 2023, there was a government in exile led by a prime minister who came up to make a difference that was not made since 1966 to 70 genocide. It is not all about what we say, but it will be worth quantified when we do the doing. Because Biafrans have done something wonderful within days. We started the Biafran referendum early voting in February 1st. And then today, in 30th of May, 2024, over 30 million votes have counted. So if they said we are, according to their fraudulent statistics of One Nigeria, that we are over 70 million or 70 million thereabout, and then a cross-section of the Ibibio and the Efik and the Urobo and the Shekiri and the Igala and the TV have not participated immensely, as in 90% of their participation, then yet you have gotten 30 million votes. What will be our total vote at the end of the day? Do you now understand the fraud that has existed? The same way they brought out a map, they situated us in the southern part of the map. And then we now saw where they said the east is pointing, where you now see Gombe, Nasarawa coming down. So how come we are situated in the map in the southern part, then you decide to call some other people and dissect us and say we are south-south, when there's nothing like south-south? And in your own case, you cannot also say that you are not north. It's only the Biafran people that you must classify as south-south. You can't classify the northern Fulanese as north-north, so that you will understand a way of being able to capture the land and use it in emasculating them to take all what does not belong to them. So if we are to take that their map, that means from Gombe, Nasarawa, coming down to the south, they are all Biafrans now. Because when they want to play this divide and rule and conquer system tool, they end up exposing and disgracing themselves. We want to thank all Biafrans who have made the Biafran government in exile a success. Yes, we are Biafran government in exile. And when you listen to Shehu with the news broadcasters on whether TV or Channel Television, they admitted something. They said, yes, the IPOB are the Biafrans back home. But Simon Ekpa is the government with his cabinet in exile. And they did not understand what they said. They did not understand what they said. The real IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, are those ones that are suffering the brunt of One Nigeria, that are in Biafra land and in the entire One Nigeria. Then the government is working from here. They don't know how they validated what they said. So Biafran people back home, you have made the Biafran government in exile to be a success in all the strides by making sure we see over 30 million votes in the first phase of the early voting. What happens in the second phase will be miraculous. Let the vote continue to count. And as we continue to count, you will see how fumes will be coming from one Nigeria. Prime Minister is super proud of all Biafrans, most especially those that are keeping the war chest intact and the armory well equipped, because one of our war veterans said they took us unawares. Because coming down from Aburi, the agreement was to come and make amends, and then they accepted. So when we got back, our mindset was we implement what Aburi Accord said. But when they came, they changed their mind on the way, and then they decided to strike. So they took us unawares. But even with the situation that they took us up with, you can listen to what Mazim Mabwe said. He said he was teaching somewhere. But when duty called, he had to go back to defend motherland and to serve and see that he contributes his own quota and his wisdom and understanding of what God has put in him to make Biafra a living place. So we all have a sacrifice to bring in your tithe and offering, and then leave the defense of Biafra land to the defense department that are doing the work. We have a very viable and workable defense minister here. Here you have a prime minister that is just as active as Putin. So if you're looking for a Putin in Africa, you have already had one in Biafra. All you have to do is to give him everything that he needs. Because the only leader that the Western criminals are afraid of now is Vladimir Putin. And then the only leader that the Nigerian terrorist government and every African government will be afraid of now is the Prime Minister of the indigenous people of Biafra. Because he has taken his dragon fire to the African Union Court. And it is smoking. Very soon, you will see how they will be running El Taskel. They thought that he will only speak and stop in Finland, and then only speak and then stop in Biafra land. They did not know when he said, I will bring what was not available into Biafra, and we will get this Biafra. That is one of it. He started his write-up to European Union and then UN, and all of you were laughing and saying, how will UN and EU have a say in your Biafra? Was creating the awareness and keeping them on check so that they will know. And now he has come back home, which is the African criminal courts of the oppressors, the people that actually digs the grave and then keep our carcasses for the Western to come and carry and burn us all alive. So he has brought it back to them now. He's going to smoke all of them out. Our heroes will continue to be happy seeing that we are not backing down and not allowing our own generation to be a thing of mockery. And that is why when Philip Evian said, our children will come to finish what they started. And my prime minister will always beat his chest to say, yes, we are those children that General Philip Evian was talking about, because after the genocide of 66 to 70s, there has been exploitation, there has been extortion, there has been emasculation, there has been no implementation of the 3R which they came up with. And so those 3Rs have been buried. And that is why we can't fold our arms and allow every checkpoint standing in Biafra land to continue to turn our lands into a bleeding field. We must continue to defend and make our heroes that have passed to be happier to have the heroes that are standing to defend motherland. You are the ones that will make our heroes that are standing to defend motherland to make it happen. You are one of the heroes that is putting in everything that you have. So we are all heroes of our time as we make the heroes past happy, seeing that their spirit reinforces us and gives us everything that we need. I thank all Biafrans. Thank Biafrans in diaspora for what you've done. The 3-day sit at home has been so remarkable, and tomorrow marks the end of it. And we started the next phase of the voting. Tomorrow, Prophet Choma will be back again with our team. So please key in, so that she has success and good reviews at the end of these 3 days of our program. Thank you so much. Honestly, we speak honestly, but people give reviews of what we do. So you wouldn't assess what you do. It is the audience that will assess what you do at the end of the day, and you will hear of reviews. Tomorrow you'll be hearing it that Professor Sherman and our team did well. I leave it here. Thank you so much, Prof.
Honorable Minister of Information, thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Minister of
we
Information.
love your closing remarks. That's why we give you the job, so that you
Yes.
can tie everything together so sensibly. Thank you so much. And we thank all of you, all the speakers, all our survivors, all our veterans. We honor you. We thank you. We must get Biafra. That is
Yes.
our defense. As you are looking at him, when he is talking with the Prime Minister, know that Biafra is here. Our Minister of Finance, responsible for the Ejema, and he's doing a great job. Oh my God. Thank you, sir. Our Dr. Nwabeze. From then till now, you are still fighting. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Nenna, Veteran Dragon, all the people that spoke and the people that couldn't speak, because we cannot sit here forever. People in Biafra land are about to sleep, if not sleeping. People in Europe, it's already late. And it's evening here where we are, so we got to go. But tomorrow, very lively, we will talk about voting, ID card, and database registration. And we have messages from all over Biafra to send to every one of you. So please don't miss tomorrow. Tomorrow will even be better than today, because Biafra is a country that gets better every day. The opposite of Nigeria, where yesterday better than today, and today guaranteed to be better than tomorrow. We say, God forbid.
Yes.
Yes.
God bless you all, and may God bless Biafra. Good night,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you too.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Veteran.
Thank you, all of
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, team,
Thank you
Mass.
so
When you
much.
going home,
Thank you,
remember,
thank you.
All
Wonderful
of
team.
we
you.
didn't start this
Good
war.
Biafra
God
Unite.
did.
Thank you all. Great,
Five
great work.
Vision. We see you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Without you guys, we won't be able to do
See you
this.
guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you,
Dr.
everybody,
Art,
our
thank
militants.
Good night, all.
my
Thank
sister.
you all.
Good
I
night.
I
Thank
actually
you.
wanted to say
Thank
something,
you,
but
our fallen
okay.
heroes.
Oh,
Thank you all.
We are
please.
coming very soon.
Okay.
I actually wanted to say something, but it's okay since
No.
the time is up.
Please,
Maybe I can address that tomorrow.
please do. I am sorry, I didn't know
All
that
right.
you said something. Please go ahead. You are our media. We can never. If we say no to our media, how are we gonna come out here? Tomorrow he may say, you're not coming. So go ahead, please, my brother, go ahead.
Okay, fine. It's unfortunately I have gone offline already, but since we are still, some of us are still online, so let me just quickly say what I want to say. Our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the cabinet members of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, BRGIE, and of course the spectators who are sitting in their various, locations to see what is going on today. All protocols observed. I welcome every one of you once again, and as I
make this just brief speech, I also want to say thank you all and good night. So I just want to say something. As we all have seen what is going on, it is a call for duty. Our leader Mazinam Dekano told us that to finance the liberation of Biafra, I don't want to continue using the word ESN. He said to finance the liberation of Biafra is a badge of honor. It's a badge of honor. Because what we are doing today is not for the benefit of us in the government in exile or just for the media personalities. It is for the benefit of all Biafrans and, of course, the generations to come. If we are free today, this current generation who are fighting for this freedom will not live forever. It is what we are going to achieve today that the generations who are coming will benefit from and use it to, to live and also produce another generation, and it continues like that till eternity. But if we fail today, which God forbid we can never fail, then we are not going to be the one to suffer it alone, but our next generations unborn will as well suffer for it. And we cannot afford not only to not allow our next generation to suffer, but to allow our next generation to come and pick up again and start agitating and fighting again for this same Biafra cause. Our fathers did it, they couldn't succeed because of the minimal or no resources for them to accomplish the goal. And also the lack of someone is making noise. Please, can you mute yourself? MIA2, can you mute yourself, please? Because of the lack of resources, our fathers were not able to execute the plan. And of course, as one of the veterans said, that we were taken unawares. So right now our eyes are open, our eyes are on the ball. So we cannot afford to blink the eyes that we have set on the ball. We must make sure that the eyes are open and keep marching relentlessly until we hit the promised land. So I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to take much of our time. I also want to address one thing that the first veteran who spoke, Veteran Wabueze, said. He said something that our Igbo soldiers maltreated our people in the coastal region. So I want to say something about that, so that the narrative does not, grow out there, because he saw the war, he fought during the war. I did not see the war, but my father and my mother told me every single story about the war, because they saw the war, they saw everything that happened, everything happened in their face. So about that, according to what I was told, the true history about that very incident is that when Biafrans were advancing, the Northerners, the Nigerian soldiers, realized that we are more stronger being together, and we have a backbone. Philip Effion is from the coastal region, including other soldiers, other Biafran soldiers who are also hell-bent in securing Biafra land and making sure that we never lost the war. So we had a lot of soldiers from coastal region who fought side to side with Igbo soldiers during the Biafra war. So now what the Nigeria did when they introduced the divide and rule tactics, they camouflaged they removed the Nigerian soldiers.
Yeah.
They used the uniform of some of the Biafran soldiers that they killed. They wore the uniform, and they invaded the coastal, especially the Iguacha, especially where they call River State today. They invaded the coastal region and started maltreating the locals in that area. So the message was sent across that the Igbo soldiers are the ones maltreating the other Biafrans in the coastal region. That is what the history told me. And my father was there. My father saw this whole story scenario, and my mother played a key role, but I don't want to mention their own roles because of what I'm doing. So now, when the message was sent across that the Igbo soldiers are killing them, maltreating them, doing all sorts of things against them, so the anger, the anger became, the anger arose. It became so high to the extent that they began to dislike the Igbos, and then they turned the Biafra as an Igbo thing. You understand? That is the narrative that the Nigeria tried to push out there. So that was the history that I was told concerning that very incident that took place during the war, concerning the Igbo soldiers and the coastal region, maltreating the coastal our people from the coast. So and when by the time before the Biafran soldiers realized what was happening, it was already late. It was already late, and by then the war was already getting to the end of the ending part of it. You understand? And that very incident is still lingering till today. That very grudges is still there today. Many people from the coast are not aware, even though the story was told, they were told what really happened. Many could not believe it, because the way the Nigerian soldiers played the movie to them, it looked like real. They never knew that it was stage managed. That was what I was told. I was not there, but my parents were there. So that's exactly what I was told. I stand to be corrected. Thank you, and God bless every one of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Every information is important.
Thank you, Tuku. Thank you. Thank you,
you don't need to be corrected, because you have actually cleared some doubts from some people that may not have understood things the way they should have been. During the war, there are different methods of warfare that are being used, and you don't expect us to see exceptions when it comes to that of Biafra and the one Nigeria. So Biafran should understand one thing, that everything will happen just to make sure they demean your existence. Now, from what Biafra Unite just narrated, and from what our Honorable Mwabweze explained, it is a repetition of what is happening today. They have to use you as my brother and use me as your brother and sister to be able to destroy you. So it is a propaganda and a blackmail leaflet that still goes the way. Let us also remember that inside the war, Britain initiated a propaganda and blackmail leaflet that was to be dropped with a chopper inside the entirety of Biafra land. And in that leaflet, what was written? It was written that Ojukwu and the Biafran army and the Igbos are your problems, that you should embrace one Nigeria. Did you listen to one of our veterans said there was a time they thought the war was over, and then they came out and they started singing One Nigeria in solidarity with the army, thinking that the war was over so that they could come to their solace. Because of the propaganda leaflet that was dropped everywhere, everyone would presume and assume that, oh, this is what it has actually been, because we were not privileged to many things. And today, you see that IPOB Nigeria is being used against us. And the Nigerian government enablers, those are the ministers and the governors and the commissioners and everything that you could ever hear of. So our brothers need to be used as a tool and a weapon of warfare inside war to be able to create a scene and to create dissociation amongst us. But when you come back to listen to Biafra Republic, peace, unity, progress, and equity, then you listen to what the Prime Minister came up with. When he initiated his government, he had gone through the IRA declaration, the declaration that was used by our own General Ojukwu and his men. He understood everything that happened. He listened to many things that had ensued during the war. He understood all these wrongs that has happened amongst Biafrans, where we were used to betray each other, where we were used against each other. And then, what did you see him do? The first thing that the Prime Minister did was a reunification. A reunification that makes Ibibio man, Igbo man, Igala, Shekiri, Urobo, Kalabari, and Tifi, and Igede man, and every man in Biafra land to understand that your fellow brother is not your problem. That it was a weapon of warfare that was used against you. That is why in the Biafran government and in the forest state and over of Biafra that will come to be, we are plenty and everybody are coming together. We don't decide for you. It is what you say you want to do in your provinces and counties that you have to do. You decide your language, how your own state will be run. You are the one to decide it. Who will speak for you? Who will be your leader? Who will come to sit in the parliament to represent you? You choose. Even the language that you will speak and what will be written in your state. It is you that will decide. Making the people to understand that they were wrongs, we have come to make amends, we are healing the wounds, then we have to move on. The reunification has brought everybody together. So, from what Biafra United explained, and from what our honorable veteran Mwabweze explained, and from every experience that every Biafran have had, it is high time you kept the mindset and the wounds of yesterday aside. Because the enemies had created this for you to always come back, pointing accusing fingers at my defense minister, Nkwocha, and Chioma, and Obi, and Becky, and Sonny, and Love, and Biafra Unite, and Mwabweze to be your problem. It is a way it was created, so that I will always be your problem as our brothers. You will see me as the one that is coming to take your oil in Ikwacha, while you will see Choma as the person coming to take the bitumen in Enugu. You now see Irobi from coming to take the oil and gas that you have in Eket. So at the end of the day, you say, Irobi, go back to your state. You are not from here. You cannot be part of me. You are not a Biafran. I have my resources in my place. Then instead of you to even allow Irobi to come for people to talk as brothers and sisters, you will prefer that a Fulani man will be the one in charge, and then you will be doing security guard for the Fulani man to collect a penny. So we understand the wounds. The Prime Minister took time to see a way of healing these wounds. That is why the reunification, the creation of a de facto, and the government in exile, encompassing everybody from the entirety of Biafra land. So that you can come and sit down and tell us what happened to you. What did your people talk about as a problem? What did they say happened before? Yes, it is where we dialogue. Most of you have not seen how the cabinet meetings of the Biafran government in exile happened. Maybe you have seen some which we televised when we had to endorse some articles or some orders or some act that came up, you saw that it is an open-minded forum where every ministers and representative have the ability to open up and then speak what the people perceive. You present it and you have a visionary and the most listening and ever hearing minister, prime minister, that is ready to listen to all of you, assimilate what you say, then have everything and tell you what and how, and then give his opinion. And he will not enforce anything on you. He will allow everybody to cast a vote in the cabinet. So what else do you need from a prime minister and a government that is coming to be done that? So Biafrans, we appreciate every contributions. It's good we say things and explain things the way we didn't know and the way we had it, so that clarifications will come. We will need to heal our wounds and then move on. So we appreciate this very government. We appreciate everything that may have happened, even if your father was fighting in the side of one Nigeria. Don't hold it against your father, because it is what happens in war. When the father has to give the wife, okay, let me go back to the Bible. What did Abraham do to the wife when he told the wife, you can tell the man that you are not my married wife? Because they had a favor that they needed, and they wanted to hide something to get to something. So you need to use something when you're playing the game of warfare. And one Nigeria is one place that they can use everything. The West is using the terrorists. Let me explain this one very well. The West is using the terrorists that they have in the entire world to play their own game of supremacy. America, UK, Europe, and every other criminals, they are using the terrorists, all these Islamic jihadist terrorists, they are using them to play their game of supremacy. At the end of the day, you hear Gaddafi was killed. Nkrumah was killed. You now hear, the other person in Congo was killed, Patricia Lumumba. What led to their killing? What happened? Why did they kill them? Because these people have something to get. They must kill you off so that they can sit down and divide the belongings and the natural resources of Africa to their own interests. So they are using the terrorists now to play their own game. So if one Nigeria had happened to use your father or your mother to play the game, do not hold it against your father, because your father would have loved and rejected to be where his brothers and sisters are. Okay, didn't you hear what Ambassador Luke Iwunze said? Ambassador Luke Iwunze said he was captured against his will to be the armor bearer to a Biafran army personnel. What would you have expected him to do? A little boy of 8, 9 to carry a weapon and then decide to kill a huge, gigantic man? No. You have to just play in to see what happens and how far you get yourself back. I thank you all as you tap wisdom from Professor Choma and our team. And they will go from here.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. I think that we've done justice to today's program. We will see you here tomorrow. Dr. Irobi, please check your phone and get back to me, please. Thank you so much, everybody. May God bless you. May God bless Biafra. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.